Lotus Elite 1957–1963. The first generation of the Elite or Lotus Type 14 was a lightweight two-seater coupe produced from 1957 to 1963. The car debuted at the 1957 London Motor Car Show, Earl's Court, bearing chassis number 1008. The Elite had spent a year in development, aided by carefully selected racing customers before going on sale. The Elite's most distinctive feature was its highly innovative fiberglass monocoque construction, in which a stressed keen glass reinforced plastic unibody replaced the previously separate chassis and body components. Unlike the contemporary Chevrolet Corvette, which used fiberglass for only exterior bodywork, the Elite used glass-reinforced plastic for the entire load-bearing structure of the car. A steel subframe for supporting the engine and front suspension was bonded into the front of the monocoque, as was a square section windscreen hoop that provided mounting points for door hinges, a jacking point for lifting the car, and rollover protection components. The first 250 body units were made by Maxima Moldings at Polborough, Sussex. The body construction caused numerous early problems, until manufacture was handed over to Bristol Aeroplane Company. The resultant body was lighter, stiffer, and provided better driver protection in the event of a crash. Still, a full understanding of the engineering qualities of fiberglass reinforced plastic was still several years off, and the suspension attachment points were regularly observed to pull out of the fiberglass structure. The weight savings allowed the Elite to achieve sports car-like performance from a 75 horsepower, 56 kilowatts, 1216 cc, 1.2 liters, Coventry Climax FWE all-aluminium inline-4 engine while returning a fuel consumption of 35 miles per gallon (EMP), 8.1 liters/100 kilometers, 29 miles per gallon US. All production Elites were powered by the FWE engine, except for one that was fitted with the newly developed Lotus Ford twin-cam engine. The FWE engine, derived from a water pump engine usually found bolted to a fire truck, was used by Lucas Electric for electrical component life testing in the presence of intense vibration. The car had independent suspension all-round with transverse wishbones at the front and Chapman struts at the rear. The rear struts were so long, that they poked up in the back and the tops could be seen through the rear window. The Series 2 cars, with Bristol-built bodies, had triangulated trailing radius arms for improved towing control. Girling disc brakes, usually without servo assistance, of 9.5 in, 241 mm, diameter were used, inboard at the rear. When leaving the factory, the Elite was originally fitted with Pirelli Cinturato 155 HR15 tires. Advanced aerodynamics also contributed to the car's low drag coefficient of CD equals 0.29, considering the engineers did not enjoy the benefits of computer-aided design or wind tunnel testing. The original Elite drawings were by Peter Kirwan Taylor. Frank Costin, brother of Mike, one of the CO founders of Cosworth, at that time chief aerodynamic engineer for the de Havilland Aircraft Company, contributed to the final design. The SE was introduced in 1960 as a higher performance variant, featuring twin SU carburetors and fabricated exhaust manifold, resulting in engine power output increasing to 85 horsepower, 63 kilowatts, ZF gearboxes in place of the standard cheap and nasty MG1s, Lucas PL700 headlamps, and a silver-colored roof. The Super 95 model had a more powerful engine with raised compression ratio and a stronger camshaft with 5 bearings. A limited number of Super 100 and Super 105 cars were made with Weber carburetors, for racing use. Among the Elite's few faults was a resonant vibration at 4,000 revolutions per minute, where few drivers remained, on either street or track, and poor quality control, handicapped by an overly low price, resulting in Lotus losing money on every car produced, and, perhaps the greatest mistake of all, offering it as a kit, with a substantial reduction in price and VAT, exactly the opposite of the ideal for a quality manufacturer. Many drivetrain parts were highly stressed and required re-greasing at frequent intervals. When production ended in 1963, 1,030 cars had been built. Other sources indicate that 1,047 were produced. A road car tested by the Motor Magazine in 1960 resulted in a top speed of 111.8 miles per hour, 179.9 kilometers per hour, and a 0 to 60 miles per hour, 97 kilometers per hour, acceleration time of 11.4 seconds. A fuel consumption of 40.5 miles per gallon imp, 6.97 liters/100 kilometers, 33.7 miles per gallon US, was recorded. The test car cost £1,966 including taxes. The ownership and history of the more than 1,000 Elites is maintained by the Lotus Elite World Register. There are several active clubs devoted to the Lotus Elite.